Daniel Buren. B. Boulogne-Billancourt, Paris, 1938. Buren is a French conceptual artist who is sometimes classified as an abstract minimalist. He came to fame in the 1960s by painting stripes across urban environments in unauthorized, bandit-style acts. The stripes are based on a popular French awning fabric. They are always 8.7 centimeters wide, and white is always alternated with another color. At his first solo exhibition, Buren blocked the entrance of the gallery with stripes. In 1986, he created a controversial sculptural installation, entitled Les Deux Plateaux, in the great courtyard of the Palais Royal. It consisted of truncated columns painted with black and white stripes. A striped posters fly posted on billboards. Buren applies stripes over posters, in metro stations, on steps, plinths, and benches, as well as in museums. By pasting up his stripes like wallpaper, he makes the viewer look again at the urban environment. 1968, Posters, Paris, France. Hans Haacke. B. Cologne, 1936. The German conceptual artist, Hans Haacke, creates incisive, forthright political art that exposes power and privilege. His early work focused on natural processes. Rain Tower, 1962, Condensation Cube, 1963-65, and Grass Cube, 1967, allowed for interactions between animals, plants, water, and wind. He also made forays into land art. In the 1970s, Haacke's work became overtly political. His targets included governments, multinational corporations, property developers, and museums. Haacke argues that, whether intentionally or not, all art plays a role in the socio-political environment in which it is produced and seen, and therefore affects the zeitgeist and has political consequences. Germania. This was presented in the German Tête Centrale Pavilion at the Venice Biennale. Entering the pavilion, the visitor was greeted by a photograph of Hitler during his visit to the same pavilion in 1934. Upon the dictator's orders, the pavilion's parquet floor was later replaced by marble plates. Hitler had planned to rename Berlin, Germania, after his expected victory in World War II. Above the entrance, where the Nazi insignia had been displayed, Haacke affixed an enlarged replica of a 1 Deutschmark coin with the minting date of 1990, the year of German reunification. 1993, temporary installation, Venice Biennale, Italy. Joseph Kosuth. B. Toledo, Ohio, 1945. Joseph Kosuth creates conceptual art, inspired by philosophy and linguistics. Precocious and provocative, he had produced some of his most celebrated works by the age of 20. Kosuth summed up his ideas in the 1969 essay Art After Philosophy, writing, "Being an artist now means to question the nature of art. If you make paintings, you are already accepting, not questioning, the nature of art." Kosuth's preferred medium was language. Words displaced images, while intellectual stimulation replaced the contemplation of aesthetic objects. This idea was exemplified in First Investigations, 1966, a series that included photostats of the dictionary definitions of water, idea, meaning, and other words. These images were accompanied by instructions, indicating that the works could be remade. In this way, Kosuth undermined the preciousness of the unique art object, and sought to demonstrate that the art is not located in the object itself, but in the concept. Lifeline. 1965, moves to New York, attends School of Visual Arts. 1967, founds the Museum of Normal Art in New York. It hosts his first solo show. 1969, becomes editor of the Journal of Art and Language, for British and American artists interested in linguistic and Marxist analysis of art. 1981, major retrospectives at Staatsgalerie in Stuttgart and Kunsthal in Bielefeld. 1986, produces Zero and Not, comprising words printed on paper then partially obscured by tape. 1 and 3 chairs. Here, Kosuth presents a chair, with a photograph of a chair, and a dictionary definition of the word chair. Kosuth is asking, what is art? Can a chair be art, in the same way that Marcel Duchamp said a urinal was art? And can descriptions of the chair, a photograph, and a verbal definition be art? 1965, mixed media, chair 82 by 38 by 53 centimeters, MoMA, New York, U.S. Mona Hatoum. B. Beirut, 1952. The Palestinian-born artist Mona Hatoum has worked mainly in London and Berlin. She works in many media, producing performance and installation pieces, video art, photography, and sculpture. Her work is unsettling. The familiar becomes grotesque, and the grotesque familiar. A necklace looks as if it is made from large, decorative, brown beads, but turns out to be an eerie combination of wood, leather, and human hair. A welcome doormat is actually made of steel pins. Hatoum's work often concerns the human body and elicits a visceral response in the viewer. Sometimes, there is even a suggestion of violence. Lifeline. 1970–72 attends Beirut University College, 1975–79 studies at the Byam Shah School of Art, 1979–81 studies at the Slade School of Art, 1989–92 teaches at Cardiff Institute of Higher Education, 1994 solo exhibition at the Pompidou Center, Paris, 1995 is shortlisted for the Turner Prize. Saw endoscopy as the ultimate in the invasion of one's boundaries. Mona Hatoum. Cora Tranger. This video installation immerses viewers in amplified recordings of human internal organs. The images, from an endoscope, are of the artist's own insides. 1994, installation at the Pompidou Center, Paris, France. Closer look. Looking into the abyss, the video unfolds on the floor. As the camera goes down the intestine, viewers look down into a swallowing hole. Christian Boltanski. B. Paris, 1944. Boltanski is a French artist whose artworks and installations have huge emotional power, often inspiring meditation and reverence. Boltanski left school aged 12 and started painting in 1958. In 1967, he began to explore his own personal history, assembling documents and photographs from his family albums. In 3 drawers, 1970, he made plasticine sculptures of a child's possessions, which remind us of the inconsequential treasures we cherished as children. Boltanski's other great subject is death, and in particular the Holocaust. In Chase's School, 1986–87, he created an altar-like construction by placing framed photographs of Jewish schoolchildren on top of tin boxes. In 1988, in his Reserve series, he lined a whole room with musty, hand-me-down clothes, stimulating the sense of smell as well as sight. The room resembled the warehouses in which the Nazis stored the belongings of the deported. Lifeline. 1944, born in Paris, to a Jewish father, 1968 first solo exhibition, 1969 publishes first book, a fictional autobiography, 1970 starts reference display cases series, 1977 starts composition series of color photographs, 1984 retrospective at the Pompidou Center, Paris, 1986 exhibits in an old prison at the Venice Biennale, 1998 last year's exhibition at the Pompidou Center, Paris, designed as a single walk-through piece. The shadows. In the early 1980s, Boltanski made small marionette-like figures and photographed them. These photos led to kinetic installations, in which the boldly lit figures create a mysterious environment of silhouettes in movement. 1984, collection Frac Bourgogne. Reserve of Dead Swiss with its thin corridor of boxes. This installation looks like a crematorium or a crypt. The lamps resemble the blinding lights used by interrogators, and add to the unsettling effect. 1990, Kunsthal, Hamburg, Germany. Closer look. Photos of the dead on the boxes are photographs of dead people, taken from a Swiss newspaper's obituary column. Some smile incongruously.